Happy Saturday, everybody. Sorry this is so late. It's just we needed to do this at an off-site location and set up a makeshift studio on the other side of the state because you see, a small volcano has formed on the east side of campus and it's swallowed most of Schnabel Hall already. And so we really had to relocate things to get this update for you. So aside from a few geological concerns, this has been a lovely weekend so far. We had highs in the 50s and some lovely sunshine for Dance Marathon. But tomorrow, that volcano, it is expected, according to geologists and our geography department, to encompass most of northwest Indiana and encroach on the Chicago suburbs. And unfortunately, as some lava plumes from that will feed into a lot of heat, and that should cause some severe weather, sadly. Now, looking some more at this volcano. Sorry, I'm just winded from having to run across the state like that. This is the approximate forecast size of the volcano as of tomorrow afternoon. It should stretch from the southern suburbs of Chicago over to just east of South Bend. It shouldn't be threatening Fort Wayne yet, but they will want to be aware of the plume that should be happening. And by this time on Monday, the plume should stretch from western Illinois all the way to Washington, D.C. The East Coast is going to be evacuated from Jersey City, New Jersey, down to Virginia Beach, Virginia. And the entire East Coast has been declared a state of emergency. As for the next few days, it is expected to stretch even beyond that, well out into the sea, from Halifax, Nova Scotia, down to the Carolinas. And it'll just continue its deadly path across the Atlantic. Ships are being diverted, though unfortunately, by next month, it should encompass the entire Earth. Now, this will be a year without a summer, unfortunately, because while this ash blocks the sun, it will block so much of the heat, and so unfortunately, we will have many, many more months of winter, and even the greatest climatologists consulted are not entirely sure when this will end. However, just because we have a forever winter does not mean we won't continue to have interesting weather. Before we get to those long-term effects, remember that severe weather I mentioned. So the lava is about 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and all of that energy will be transferred into the air. That will get a lot of rising motion, and so we will have some very, very severe weather. We'll have a tornado, the likes of which have never been seen in northwest Indiana, and sadly, it will stretch over to the East Coast. Now, that's not our only threat. The heat from the volcano will stretch into Lake Michigan, heating up the water almost to boiling point, and all of this will create an unheard of hurricane in the Great Lakes, which should destroy most of the state of Indiana. Residents are urged to evacuate as soon as they can, take precautions. Most shelves will be gone by tomorrow. They will be entirely empty, so contact your family in other parts of the country. Now, here is what the forecast would have been had there not been a series of natural disasters. Tonight, it would go down to 45 degrees in a volcanoless Indiana, and there would be a slight chance of showers that will get more tomorrow with some winds from the southwest at 10. As for tomorrow, in a hypothetical non-volcanic world, it would be about 57 degrees with some showers and thunderstorms later into the day. Thunderstorms without volcanoes, mind you. And we would have similar winds of 10 to 15 with some gusts up to 20 perhaps. As for the next week, assuming there were to be no volcanoes or hurricanes forming on Lake Michigan, we would have a lovely spring week with some rain on some days, especially Monday, Wednesday, and a slight chance of a wintry mix on Friday. Winter's not quite done with its grasp on the Midwest yet. But look at that, highs in the 60s for several days of our week.